Well, good afternoon, YouTube. This is Chuck, and I'm here at Payson Town Hall on a quiet Sunday afternoon. Usually this place is hopping, but being Sunday, everybody's gone. So I figured I'd take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about Payson. I've had one of my videos. I did one of my windshield tour videos. I did a windshield tour about Payson. And it's been my second most popular video, and I've had a number of people ask me some questions about that. So maybe I can address some of that stuff in this little video today. First of all, Payson is located almost in the geographical center of Arizona, and in northern part of Gila County. It's about 75 miles north of the most eastern part of the Phoenix metro area, probably 90 miles from downtown Phoenix itself. The population here is about 17,000 by estimate. It varies depending on who you ask. And the incorporated area is 18 square miles. The town was originally founded in 1884, was incorporated in 1973, so it just turned 50 years old as an incorporated community. So as you can tell, behind me is the town hall, and town is governed by an elected town council. There's a total of 6 members plus the mayor. The mayor's elected on 2-year terms. The council members are elected on staggered terms of 4 years each. So every 2 years, 3 of them come up for re-election. The town hall behind me is, there's a meeting area in there, and that's where the town manager's office is, and all those offices. So services provided by the town. Let me get back around here. First one will be water. Water obviously is extremely important. The Payson Water Department is actually owned by the town, but it functions as what's called an enterprise account. So basically it functions like a business that's owned by the town. So they run basically independently. And one thing about Payson and the water supply is they just recently completed a $30+ million water project that bring water in from a lake that's about 25 miles away, and built a big treatment plant. Before that, we relied on groundwater, and we're on top of a mountain, so groundwater resources were pretty limited. Let me get back over here again. So for a while we were having real problems with water, but now we're one of the few communities in Arizona that has a guaranteed 100-year water supply. And that's pretty important because most all the communities in Arizona are struggling right now trying to figure out how they're going to find enough water to survive. And that includes even the big cities down the Phoenix metro area. They're all basically fighting over water. So we're one of the few communities that the water situation has been taken care of. Means the water bills are a little higher than they used to be, but mine at my house average about $2 a day, and you can't really complain about that. It's about the cheapest utility out there. The other utilities, the electric is supplied by Arizona Public Service Company. That's one of 2 large electrical service providers in Arizona, and they provide electricity to most of the small towns. The other provider is called Salt River Project, and they're primarily in the Metro Phoenix area, and they're also a water provider as well. But APS is probably the largest provider of the 2, and they provide the electrical services for the vast majority of Arizona. Okay, our sewer here is provided by a separate municipal services district. It was originally called the Northern Gila County Sanitary District. Recently they changed their name to Green Valley Water because now they're providing some reuse water as well. We have a modern treatment facility located in the southwest part of town. And the Green Valley Water also provides sewer services to some communities outside the incorporated limits. As far as telephone, there's several cell providers, all the common cell providers. There's also landline still through, I believe it's through CenturyLink. I don't have landline anymore, so I'm not even sure. Cable TV is through Optimum, who recently bought out Suddenlink. I no longer deal with them, so I can't tell you anything about them. I know the rates are kind of high. Gas service is, there's several tank companies but the underground pipe company is called Pinnacle Propane or Liant Gas, and they're a large company throughout several of the western states. Payson is rather unique in that we don't have any natural gas service here. The underground gas service is actually pipe propane. There's only 3 communities in Arizona that can say that, and we're one of them. There's no natural gas pipelines within about 60 miles of here, so this is all kind of evolved. It works basically pretty much the same as your natural gas service. You have underground piping and gas meters, unless you choose to have tank service. Of course, propane and natural gas behave totally differently. I've talked about that in other videos, but that's if you have gas service like I do to my house, that's who you can deal with. Okay, there's let's see, that's the utilities. How about trash? Trash is provided. Trash service is not provided by the town. It's provided by a number of private companies. Waste management being the largest one, plus a couple of local companies. If you want to haul your own, there's a county landfill located 11 miles north of town for those purposes. So let's talk a little bit about other services the town provides. Let's talk about public safety. Right over here is Payson Police Department. And Payson Police Department has, I believe, 34 sworn officer positions, and 911 enhanced dispatch service in that building there. And they dispatch both for the police department, the county sheriff's department, and 5 local fire departments out of that building there. Fire services are provided by Payson Fire Department, my old alma mater. I was actually the first full-time employee Payson Fire ever hired. I was fire chief there for 22 years, the first paid fire chief. I retired from there quite a number of years ago and went to work at 4 other places, but my heart still's with them. But basically they provide fire and paramedic level medical services out of 3 strategically located fire stations with full-time career fire crews. There's a total of 10 on-duty folks, 3 3-person engines, and a battalion chief. And they average about 3,600 calls a year, which if you do the math, that's about 10 calls a day. So they're pretty busy, and I've shot a little bit of video of them responding to calls, and anytime I can get a good catch on them, I'll do that. But they provide full modern paramedic level services. The value of having 3 fire stations located the way they are is that the vast majority of the properties in town are within 4 minutes of a fire station. And that's very important for both fire and paramedic level medical services. Ambulance services provided by Lifeline Ambulances, which is owned by AMR, American Medical Response, which is the largest ambulance provider in the United States. So as far as other amenities, there's 2 large city parks, one in kind of the central west area and one in the southwest, which is Green Valley Park, which is where I walk my dog. I've shot a number of videos from there. There's also another new park on the east side called Granite Dells Park that's under construction. That should be wrapping up sometime in the coming year, and that'll get open, and the town's going to be operating that. It's being actually built by somebody else, but the town has agreed to operate it. There's also in the north part of town, there's a little what they call a pocket park, and town could use a few more of those if they don't have it. They've also got some future property in the north part of town for an archaeological theme park called Goat Camp, and I showed you a video a while back of the Goat Camp ruin, because there's a large ancient people's ruin that's located out there, and eventually the plans are to develop that into an archaeologically themed town park. So that's kind of a wrap up of the services. Okay, so what do we have for well, grocery stores? We got the Super Walmart, which is actually, you can't see it from where I'm standing, but it's right across the street from here. We have a Bash's, which is a very large Arizona chain, which is recently bought out by, I believe it was Rally's out of California. And we also have a Safeway, which of course is affiliated with Albertsons and Kroger and all those people. Pretty good selection. For other things, we have a Home Depot, we have a Tractor Supply, we have Harbor Freight. For restaurants, we got all the fast food joints practically. And we got a number of good locally owned restaurants as well. If I tried to talk about them all, I think this video would run way too long. There's just about everything you could want. There's a couple of good sushi places. I'm not into sushi, so I can't recommend them. What else we got? Oh, while we're talking about the town, I didn't mention the airport. We have an airport with a 6,000-foot paved runway, hangars, and there's also a subdivision out there where you can taxi your airplane to your house. If you want to see what the airport looks like, go back 3 or 4 videos, and I was up there for the Aero Fair on the 21st of October, and so you can go up there and watch that video, and it'll give you kind of an idea what the airport looks like. So that's a quick rundown of the services here. Pros and cons of living here. One of the pros is that the weather's perfect. We're far enough away from the Metro Phoenix area where we don't get a lot of the hustle and bustle and the problems related to the large metropolitan area. We're 3 mountain ranges away, so we don't get a lot of the smog. We're a little higher in elevation at 5,000 feet, so the air is much better up here. The flip side of that is we're close enough where you can drive down there in an hour and 15 minutes if you have to go down there for something. So we're far enough away, but we're not too far away, and that's a plus. There's a lot of retired folks here, and so there's a lot of the service jobs related to retired folks. I didn't talk about employers. One of the problems we have is there's not a lot of high-paying jobs, a lot of service jobs, but the cost of living here and the cost of property and housing is high. We're surrounded by national forest land, which is both a plus and a minus. It's a plus if you want to go hiking or if you enjoy that kind of thing, but it's a minus. There's limited private land, which means that the private land is very expensive. I've lived in my house for 48 years now, and quite frankly, at what my retirement income is, I could not qualify to buy my own house. I've thought about selling it, but I couldn't afford any place else here in town. I'd have to leave town. So I'm in that situation like a lot of people are. I don't really own my house owns me. And so that's kind of what the situation is with that. Cost of living here is a little bit high. The population-wise, there's a lot of retired folks here. And what that means is there's a lot of services related to the retired folks. As far as employers, probably the top 5 employers, and this is my guess, so it's not scientific. Probably number 1 is the healthcare field between the hospital. We have a hospital here, which our hospital, by the way, is affiliated with the Banner Network, which is a large network throughout Arizona with every kind of specialty clinic imaginable. An example of that is when I had my cancer surgery earlier this year. I went to Banner MD Anderson Cancer Center, which is affiliated with Banner Gateway Hospital, which is where my surgery was performed at, and is all part of the Banner Network. A lot of the specialists actually do come up here, so a lot of it is not necessary to drive down. But my cancer doctor is 75 miles door to door from my house to his office, so that's not too bad. So the healthcare industry is probably the number 1 service provider, or number 1 employer, I should say. Number 2 is probably going to be the school district. We have a high school, a middle school, 2 elementary schools, and a number of private schools, most of whom are church affiliated in some form or another. Probably the 3rd highest employer after education is probably government. The town employs, I'm not sure how many people. The last number I heard was 140, but I think it's more than that now, with all the various departments and all the various things the town's involved in. Next one would probably be the casino. If you're interested in that kind of thing, the Town-O-Apache tribe on the south edge of town has a casino with a related hotel, and they've got a bunch of development planned there for the future. Casino has a decent restaurant there. It's a good place to go and eat, and so if you like gaming, they're right there, right on the edge of town. So that's a quick snapshot of Payson. I don't know how long this has run. I didn't want it to run a whole long time, but I have had some questions about some of that stuff, and this might answer some of your questions about it. I'll pin a link to the bottom of my my windshield tour video, and maybe pick up some videos there. So if you want to know a little bit more about Payson, this is it. I've lived here for 53 years, and so I'll tell you, as I always do, take care of each other, love each other, and we'll get back to you on another one here pretty soon. Give you another little quick pan around there. I showed you Town Hall. I showed you the water building, police department. This is community development. This is where the building department and all those folks work out of. But this Town Hall campus here is kind of a comfortable place. The legal department is in that building over there. That's the town attorney's office. And I guess that's all for now. So I'll be back to you again with another one here real quick. So right now, let me just tell you, until I see you again, I'll just say peace out. Let me flip it around one more time to find the button.